Just from Dwayne the mattress guy from Mattress by Appointment, Hillsborough.
Hey Ryan, just calling in for Hoppe In The Morning. Your podcast's been killing it lately. Been loving it. Got the good vibes going. Nice job. That's right. We're doing 50 to 80% off retail. We've got the $25 down plan. Got to call me, text me. You know my number, 813-452-5555. We'll set up a private showing. Come take a look at all the queens that we got on display, but I've also got kings, fulls, and twins. Whatever you like. We're taking on the same day. Just the other day, a guy was in Javane, came in, I think 2 weeks ago. He was looking for a king, got the mattress and the box spring. And he had a 1 o'clock appointment with me on, I think it was on a Thursday. And we had it in his bedroom before 2 o'clock. It was like 10 minutes to 2. I was pulling up to his house. So, I mean, it's not easy. And, I take care of my people. It's one-on-one. I don't have a bunch of employees. Yeah, 813-452-5555. Ryan, you're doing a good job there. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all your help. And that's why I love using Mattress by Appointment to sponsor the podcast.
Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you.
All security! We met young Ryan Hoppe. Ryan.
Okay, and your name?
Ryan Hoppe.
Okay, Ryan Hoppe. Where do you live?
Arlington Heights.
Ah, so you're from the rich north suburbs.
What's going on, Ryan Hoppe? This is Tony Romo.
Your buddy Ryan Hoppe.
No one knows who Ryan Hoppe is.
You never have to worry about offending Ryan Hoppe.
Isn't he like 7 foot tall?
He's 7 foot tall. He's
a kid.
He's
Right.
a kid.
He's got good mentors.
And he's motivated.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
He never holds back, and he speaks his mind. Welcome back to Hoppe Hour.
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Oh, yes. Did you hear about the upcoming election? If you haven't heard about the upcoming election, I'm about to tell you. Hoppe Hour has been nominated as Best Podcast in Tampa Bay by you, all the listeners. The creative loafing of Tampa Bay. Thank you very much, Tampa. But here's the even bigger news. Not that that's not a big deal. I'm not taking it for granted. But the last 3 years, was voted as Best Up-and-Comer 2019, 2020, 2021. And all 3 years, Scotty the Body won, which is fine. He's a very talented guy. Have a lot of respect for Scott Tavlin. He is very good at being Scott Tavlin. But I finally made the ballot. I am up for Best Radio Personality in Tampa Bay. So go to cltampa.com and vote. I'm flattered, though. Like, a lot of radio people in this town that are very talented, that have been doing radio twice as long as I've been alive, did not make the ballot. And that's all you're going to hear me talk about it. I'm not going to be somebody that takes out an ad and goes, ooh, look at me. I already made the list. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But once again, to everybody out there who checks out Hoppe Hour, I appreciate it. And everybody that voted me amongst Mike Calta, Drew Garabo, and our competition, thank you. I'm flattered. I don't want to say honored because it's a crutch. But radio is not the complete life of Ryan Hoppe. So by me saying honored, it's just not about radio. You know what I mean? Like, I'm honored in general that you guys would vote me onto the ballot. So for all the info, cltampa.com. Also, I got some breaking news here at the Hoppe Hour headquarters. We're hanging out, man. A lot's going on here, man. We have picked up our 7th sponsor. Did you guys see that nice little cup ahead? Looks like a Yeti cup, but it's better. It says Hoppe Hour on it. Well, if you go to BZB bzbezness.com. bzbezness.com. You can get everything you want. So here's the info about the website. I have another sponsor at dbinfusions.com with David, and this is run by his wife, who made me the lovely cup. Thank you, B. It says here, as an at-home mom, I was looking for a hobby and income that would allow me to express myself while being a mom. Makes sense. I have always dreamed of being able to work at home for my children and enjoy what I do. So check around and see what I do. And email me for any inquiries. You can get t-shirts, tumblers, and much more. You can get a lot of things printed at bzbezness.com. I will have all the info tomorrow. This is the pre-announcement. I'll do the big announcement on my social media. But for right now, bzbezness.com is a part of the Hoppe Hour family. And as always, if you want to get into contact with the show, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. 856-49-HOPPE. It's 856-494-6773. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. So I see this headline here, and it just represents the city that the headline took place in, that being Baltimore, Maryland. The city that was under fire 7 years ago. The city that made fun of a cop that turned into bad cops by putting rats on their car. Yeah, Baltimore is not really a place that you really want to go to. Well, a retired Baltimore cop is charged with 10 child sex offenses after his daycare owner wife shot him when parents told him he touched their kids. A very Baltimore thing to happen, man. And you know this guy as a cop was probably really dirty and really awful, and they probably covered it up. Why do I think they covered it up? Because when a bad Baltimore cop got called out by a good Baltimore cop, the bad cops retaliated, which I think is pretty much all the police culture. The details have not yet become public, but he is accused of touching 3 kids at his wife's daycare, Little Kids Castle in Randallstown, Maryland. Man, I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you touch a kid and you have that mindset, I think we are way too nice to pedophiles. I don't think we really want to think about what they do, because we don't. But once you're found guilty or you're a school shooter, bye, bitch. Electric chair, you go. No room for you. Bye. Burn in hell, even though it's not real. After she shot him, she surrendered to police following a standoff. Oh, that sounds fun. I wonder what that's like when you have cops surrounding you and, like, you know that you're not going to get away with it. You're aware that you're not going to get away with it, but you're like, I'm just going to keep shooting and then just keep adding charges to make my issues in court go even farther. Like, I would just give up, man. You just kind of give up when you're hanging around the cops. Like, they're going to win. Cops always win. The lawyers always have your back. Don't say anything. Just be quiet. Take the L. Let them flex and go, ooh, I'm a cop. I had 40 weeks of training. Just saying. 856-49-HOPPE. Yeah, I don't really feel like beginning the show talking about pedophilia. I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous that a guy would even do that, and that he's just going to probably get probation and 4 years in prison. And then you see everything going on with the Parkland shooter case. I don't even want to say that shooter's name. Why? Because I don't remember. And even if I did, I wouldn't say it. And, like, you see how angry the parents are, and you're like, why is he not dead? Like, what is he contributing to this world by being alive? I really think if we killed pedophiles right away, and I think if we killed school shooters right away, not just take them out in the shed and shoot them, but like electric chair, that would humble them. That would maybe, I wouldn't say prevent the issue, but some creeps would go, hey, I don't really feel like going through the electric chair. But these imbeciles have no work initiative. They don't want to grind in life. They're taking lives. So going to prison's like a little hotel trip for them because they're idiots. 856 49-HOPPE. And it's 856-494-6773. Now, you're probably wondering why I've come out the gate so hyper. It's because I am very caffeinated. I am a man that is always caffeinated. It's the only way I live my life, man. So we have Andrew Brandt here, and he is giving his take on Deshaun Watson, which there's a lot of sketchy info about this Deshaun Watson thing. He got 66 massages in 17 months. Yeah, he's a serial predator. Here is a legal expert, Andrew Brandt, who talked to TMZ Live about Deshaun Watson. Oh, because I've heard so much from Cleveland. 12 years, you kept saying Ben Rapelessberger. Where's the crying for Deshaun Watson?
So here's where it goes from here. The NFL has an ability to appeal this and appeal it to guess who? The NFL.
NFL sounds like the mafia, man. Like, whenever I hear about the NFL, I never get good vibes where I'm like, oh my God, Roger Goodell seems like somebody I would want to hang out with. Roger Goodell seems like a guy that'd be really fun to be around. It just reminds me of the mafia. There's nothing about it that I go, God, seems like it's really good to get CTE and then be treated like garbage. No. Roger Goodell and that league that he runs is nothing more and nothing less than the mafia. The only difference is the mafia bosses in real life and Marlon Brando's character and Tony Soprano's. I love how I knew Marlon Brando as the name of the actor, but not his character, but I forgot James Gandolfini. 856-49-HOPPE. I'm just saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the jury, I'm just saying, Roger Goodell runs the mafia. All right, let's hear more from Andrew Brandt.
So they can appeal this to Roger Goodell, to themselves, and there's no doubt if they appeal, the suspension will be increased, probably with a big fine attached to it.
He makes $230 million. Any big fine is not really going to hurt him. It's more not seeing playing time on the field. It's kind of the bigger issue.
So I know everybody's saying right now to listening to this.
Yeah, go on.
This is, why wouldn't they appeal? They have another day, as we sit here today, to appeal. The question is, will they? And I guess what I'm thinking is there could be two reasons why they do not appeal. Number one,
they just want to get this under the rug and just forget that this happened, because a lot of feminist groups are not happy. That might be why they don't appeal. They're trying to kind of move on as the season begins in about 5 to 6 weeks. I don't really see them going, hey, can we have this case that's been around for 4 years, 3 years, or whatever it's been? It seems like a lifetime. It is if your kid was born in 2019. Yeah, this case that's been around forever, let's bring it into the season. Yeah, they're trying to wrap it up. Kind of like what happened with Ben Roethlisberger. He got accused over that summer or this spring in the offseason, and then he got that like 2 to 4 game suspension, and voila, magic. They moved on.
One is this whole process I just outlined. Do they want to overreach this new hearing arbitrator that they just hired?
Yeah.
Do they want to step on her in their first case? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's the other problem. You're going up against a woman. I'm not being sexist. I'm saying this case is where almost every woman was a victim. Every woman was. And then you have a woman in charge of prosecuting it. I'm just saying, like, you're going to look even worse. But then again, the NFL can only go up and up when it comes to looking worse. When you're a league that has looked so awful for so long, I feel like the league really started to look bad in like 2014 with Ray Rice. That was the beginning.
Maybe not. The other reason is other owners who are the bosses of the NFL, who boss Roger Goodell, could say to him, stop.
I wonder what it's like bossing Roger Goodell around, because he bosses everybody else around, but he probably just hides in the corner like a pussy.
Stop. Let's get the focus back on football. Let's stop talking about this.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Take the 6 games and run. I don't know if that's going to happen. I do know if they appeal, I'm confident it'll be a much bigger suspension than 6 games.
Yeah. Wow. That is the legal analyst that is provided to TMZ Sports. And I'm the one that played the clip of the legal analyst that I just made fun of. So what does that say about me?
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Happy Hour will be right back.
Oh, yes. Following segment is brought to you by dbinfusions.com. If you want the best CBD and the best Delta 8, go to dbinfusions.com and tell David I sent you.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Listen to me, Randy. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, whether you're white or black or Sasquatch even. As long as you follow your dream, no matter how crazy or against the law it is. Except for Sasquatch. If you're Sasquatch, the rules are different.
Forget it, Meatwad. I'm a circus freak. That's all I'll ever be.
Whatever.
Call Hoppe now. 856-49-HOPPE. Tweet at him at Ryan Hoppe Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Oh, yeah. 856-49-HOPPE. It's 856-494-6773. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. You can always email me, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. All right, I see the headline here, and it's quite interesting. That's what I bring to the show. I'm not going to sit here and bring average content for you. Kanye West rips Adidas for Yeezy Day. I didn't approve. But yeah, what the hell has Kanye West really contributed recently after literally going off the grid? So, Adidas was like, Kanye, we don't have any new original content to sell. And even though they had a Yeezy Day and Kanye West did not approve, they're like, we can just deal with the heat because we're the ones paying him and he's not really doing much. So we win in this situation. He has no leverage. He has no clout. Yeezy Day is here again. Oh, yeah. It was quite the day. About as exciting as Boxing Day after Christmas. Yeezy Day is here again, and Kanye West is pissed about it, claiming Adidas never got his approval for this year's event, and going off about several other issues he has with the brand. The artist spelled out his issues in an IG message to Complex on Tuesday, which marks the third annual Yeezy Day, where Adidas re-releases a lot of the popular items from Ye's sneaker line for 2 days. That's dumb, man. I would assume he gets a profit of it, so wouldn't you want to make money? Or are you literally trying to be that much off the grid? Where not only are you not on social media, oh wait, that's right, you're on social media now, so you're a hypocrite. And that's why no one respects you, because you made a song about how you were going to be off the grid, and take care of your kids, and you did not. Dirtbag. Here's what he wrote. He sent this to the dude from Complex, and he took a picture of his screenshot to IG. He's not really good with social media. You never really look at Kanye's posts because he's like kind of a millennial, but more of a Gen Xer, but he looks very boomerish. He doesn't like you have to do different things to make things look good, because sometimes IG, if you show a picture, it'll enlarge it and it looks awful. And he doesn't put in the effort to properly place it so you can see the whole text messages. Brittany kind of does the same thing. There's an app called Live Collage, and you can put it in there and it makes it smaller, so then when you load it up on IG, it enlarges it. It's it takes 2 more minutes. When I had the big announcement about being nominated for best local podcast or best podcast in Tampa Bay, which would be local, and then best radio personality. I took 20 minutes to make that post because I wanted it to look good. Kanye West, he's like, I'm just going to post it. But then again, maybe I'm putting in too much effort because he is the one that's worth $1 billion. Here's what he said. Adidas made up the Yeezy Day idea without my approval. They went and brought back older shoes without my approval, picked colors and names without my approval, went and hired people that worked for me without my approval, stole my colorways without my approval, took my styles without my approval, and material approaches with them without my approval. Sounds like they didn't get his approval on much. and hired a GM of Yeezy without my approval. Well, that's got to be kind of weird. Like, you just deal with a guy that you're like, I didn't hire you. But I don't think he's reaching out to them. Because if he's off the grid, he's going to be hard to reach. And that's got to be aggravating. And they hired a GM of Yeezy without my approval, took talent on the production side and sprinkled them throughout Adidas Originals without my approval. Even through, they did a Balenciaga collaboration, they completely slowed down production on the shoes me and Dema developed for Gap by trying to bully Gap, even though my contract says I can do casual shoes, which I was doing when my fashion shows were going on. When I originally ordered Adidas to make more Yeezy slides, the GM lied to my face and said they don't have the capacity. Meanwhile, Adidas was, it doesn't even matter. It goes on and on. There is not one period or one capitalization in any of that. It is literally the run-on sentence of a sociopath. And then again, that would make sense because he is a sociopath. I can imagine they really want him to be involved and he's not responding because he thinks he's done all his work. He got his paycheck. Speaking of doing all your work and then getting a paycheck to the NFL, like, you know how Kanye West is just trying to earn a paycheck and have paychecks written to him? This next headline is about having to write a paycheck to somebody because you got caught. Dolphins owner Ross suspended, slapped with a $1.5 million fine for tampering with Brady. Yeah, during the offseason, we were in kind of a little situation with Tom Brady when he retired for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I'm a big Tom Brady fan. I like Tom Brady. I root for Tom Brady. But this is just my opinion. The way he retired and then came back, the way he retired and then was like, I want to play football again, and now you hear the allegations that he was talking to the NFL, kind of reminded me of this.
We were on a break.
We were on a break. We were on a break.
Okay.
We were on a break.
We got the point. It kind of reminds me of Friends, you know? Like, we were on a break, you know?
We were on a break.
And he just gave Miami, you know, just an HJ. Nothing more, nothing less if I could compare it to sex, which I do a lot on this show because I'm a repressed former Catholic man. The NFL is coming down hard on the Miami Dolphins, docking the organization 2 draft picks, including a first-round selection for tampering with quarterback Tom Brady, who has a maximum of 7 years left in this league. So why would you tamper and get rid of your first-round pick? That part was obviously added by me. Like, everything the Dolphins do is so average. Like, they got into contact with Tom Brady. It's kind of like watching a Dolphins game. They came into contact with Tom Brady, but weren't able to manifest Tom Brady. And it's kind of like most Dolphin games with Ryan Tannehill and all the quarterbacks over the years. Like, you flirt in the game, you kind of get a touchdown, you have a good third quarter, and then you don't win. Or you win 8 games in a row and barely miss the playoffs and go 9-7, or whatever the record was this year when they went on that huge, or last year when they went on that huge row of winning those games. I think it was like 8 or 9, and then they lose to go into the playoffs. Like, that's just so Miami Dolphins that it's ridiculous. He was also suspended, the owner, until mid-October. But that's not really like a fine. That's not really like a penalty, a punishment for him. You know what I mean? Like, sure, it's a literal fine of $1.5 million, but that's a slap on the wrist. You're telling me that the owner who has ruined everything, including and involving the Miami Dolphins, you're telling me that he doesn't get to be around the place for the first few games? It's actually a good thing. Watch them go and win games, and then he comes back, and then things will go to crap. 856-49-HOPPE. It's 856-494-6773. Lakers owner Jenny Buss. My Twitter was hacked. I'm not selling PS5s. And this was from her Twitter. Official Jenny Buss. And no, it didn't say, I love having sex with Kyle Kuzma, and that's why he was on the team forever. That was her other tweet. 856-49-HOPPE. End quote. And it has the little announcement, little like cop alarms. the lights that would be on top of a cop car. She has those around the word. Huge announcement. Hello, Twitter family. I have 3 PS5s for sale for you guys. DM me to purchase. All proceeds will go directly towards charity, and everyone that purchases one will have a chance to attend the Lakers game. The sad part is, with how bad the franchise is, it seemed believable. It seemed believable. Why wouldn't you want to sell a PS5? It'd be the only time Russell Westbrook would be any good in a video game. Just saying. I'm so excited about the NBA beginning very soon. It's going to be a good time. I really wish the Toronto Raptors moved here, but Toronto was like, nah, Tampa doesn't really care about us, Also, that was COVID. And I wonder what the fan base would have been like if it wasn't COVID. But if it wasn't COVID, they wouldn't be there. Because when you went to Raptors games 2 years ago, when they played in Amalie, it was like spread out where only 1/5 of the place was full. And that 1/5 was decently loud. And they were doing the camera shots. And I was on the Jumbotron a few times. It was cool. Anybody could be on a Jumbotron because there was that few people there. It was emptier than a Rays game. But what was funny about it was I think that would have been the same reaction to them if it was just them moving to Tampa. Like, Tampa just does not care about the NBA, and it breaks my heart. Tampa just does not go, oh my God, we need to even learn about the NBA. Tampa, if they're Republican, they get way too political about the liberal athletes. And sometimes it borders on racism because, like, a white dude will say the same opinion as some of the players in the NBA, and the people here in Tampa are like, I'm not watching that. And then, like, someone else says it, and they're like, that's common sense. I like that opinion. It's like, hey, have you looked yourself in the mirror recently?
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Happy Hour will be right back.
Oh, yeah. This following segment was brought to you by FitSageFitness.net. When I tell you that Devin Prasad is the best workout trainer in all of the Bay Area, I'm a man of my words. Go to FitSageFitness.net and sign up. He's got different classes, different ranks. And when you message him and you tell him that you heard about it on Happy Hour, he's going to hook you up.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
$9,000 prostitute, please. Oh, do you have 9 $1,000 ones? Yeah, good. And if you got an albino, send her up too. And like 20 minutes, I'm gonna be asleep, so get them up here. I had like half a bottle of melatonin, 6 beers, this whole bucket of chicken. Oh, the Sandman is coming.
Call Hoppe now. 856-49-HOPPE. Tweet at him at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Or chat him live via the Hoppe Radio
app. He's the voice of a generation that got screwed by the baby boomers. Welcome back to Hoppe Hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Oh, yeah. 856-49-HOPPE. 856-494-6773. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And man, you can always email me, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. And let's guess here. What do you think my Snapchat name would be? Oh, that's right. Ryan Hoppe Radio. Spread the word, folks.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go.
And also, if you're listening live on Z Radio Live, search Hoppe Radio on every single platform that has a podcast. Google Play Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Apple Podcasts, Odyssey, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Mixcloud, all of them. Search up Hoppe Radio, HOPPE Radio. But if you're already listening on a podcast because we're syndicated on Z Radio Live, I want to remind you that Happy Hour is on Z Radio Live every Thursday at 5 p.m. East Coast time, 4 p.m. Central. Search up Z Radio Live on Odyssey and TuneIn. And if you consume Happy Hour, if you listen to Happy Hour both by using the website zradiolive.com and by using one of the apps, like if you heard that live read and you were like, Ryan, I listened in both fashions, I just want to say, you mean a lot to me. You really do.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Please don't be offended. He's sorry in advance.
Justin Bieber is back. The music superstar resumed his Justice World Tour this week after a scary health issue forced him to take a break from the road.
I was wondering if there was a chance. Now, I'm not trying to be, ripping into Bieber, because I have a lot of respect for Bieber. I'm not trying to be a shock jock. I'm not trying to be a contrarian, but I'm wondering if maybe he rushed back. Because maybe he was sick of hanging out at the house all day and miss traveling around the world and cheating on his wife. Oh, Bieber would never cheat. Because when I think of loyal people, I think of musicians. Here's the thing. So I think he's probably not ready to come back. But it was like, I need the money.
Justin hit the stage in Italy for his first time back on stage since being diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a condition which left him with partial facial paralysis.
Oh, but he's ready now. 3 weeks later, after releasing that video where he looked so old and like garbage. Like, if he wasn't famous, he would look like any dude that's high on coke at a bar in Largo. But he's Bieber? Oh, you'll get there. I'm just saying, man.
Justin revealed his gratitude on social media and thanked fans for welcoming his return, writing in his Instagram caption, "Love you guys, and I missed you."
Good for him, man. Good for him. I'm glad he's out there. I'm glad he didn't rush it. I'm glad he's probably completely ready, and this is actually going to help his health, right when you get Ramsay-Hunt disease, to just go out there and perform in front of 90,000 people. That sounds like the perfect way to fix a really bad thing to have.
In another post, he gathered with his team and wife Hailey Bieber for a group prayer before the show and teased that he was in the presence of the sexiest people he knows.
Hell yeah. Nothing like complimenting the people you pray with. Oh yeah, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Man, you are one sexy person. You know that? Like, I've never heard that word be used after talking about praying. Usually it's, you're a good father, you're a good man, and I'm proud of you. I love what you do, and I'm glad you support my family. I'm just thinking about prayers we had growing up and what it would be said afterwards. We'd be at the dinner table, be like, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, I want to thank you for everything, blah, blah, blah. I never had a moment when I was sitting around the dinner table with my mom and dad, and we're praying, that they're like, oh yeah, and thank you for looking sexy today. So when Bieber says, I'm having a good time praying around people that are sexy, it's like, what religion are you praying from? And let me see your God. A God that finds people sexy? I mean, that sounds like a good time, man. It sounds like vibes you want to have.
The singer opened up about his condition on Instagram in June, illustrating to his 240 million followers that he wasn't...
Brag about it. Tell us he has that many followers. Make us feel, insignificant. But he is going to die someday, so... Isn't it true that we're all just kind of a little insignificant,
Able to blink, smile, or move his nostril on one side of his face.
Yeah.
As you can see, this eye is not blinking.
Yeah. Remember this video a month ago where his eye wasn't blinking and it looked like someone threw a boulder against his face at a bar, which I'm sure probably happened, maybe in Boulder, Colorado. And then a month later, I'm totally ready to perform. I mean, I'm not saying that he wouldn't have access to the most elite products, elite treatment. I'm just saying.
As you can see, this eye is not blinking.
Yeah. Let's go on tour and get away from my wife.
I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move.
That's fine, man. Not saying I'm against people smiling, but he doesn't have like a smile that you're like, oh my God, is that a likable smile? Like, as smarmy as he is, when I think of Mario Lopez's smile, like that is a nice white smile. But Bieber's smile, you're fine, man. Even when you're smiling, we know you're frowning. Like when Bieber has actually been frowning, his smiles show more sadness than his frowns.
So there's full paralysis in this side of my face.
Let's go tour.
So for those who are frustrated by my cancellations
and not buying my products, I'll be back very soon.
The next shows, I'm just physically, obviously not capable of doing them.
Wait. We got to rewind that.
I'm just physically, obviously not capable of doing them.
Because if I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. That's the closest we'll get to playing Bieber on this show because of copyright. I'd never let you go.
This is pretty serious.
Yeah, it kind of sucks when your face is frozen.
See, I wish this wasn't the case, but obviously my body's telling me I got to slow down.
Yeah, let's slow down for 3 weeks and then just go 100 miles per hour. Sounds about right. Yeah, I'm just going to take a break real quick and then getting the hell out of here. I'm leaving. Bye-bye. See you later, alligator. I am getting out of here. Haley, oh my God, it's her time of the month.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Happy Hour will be right back.
Oh yeah, this following segment was brought to you by Amir Academy of Martial Arts. When I tell you that Amir is the best in the Bay, I'm a man of my words. I would not lie to you. AmirAcademy.com. Yeah, go there.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Call Hoppe now. 856-49-HOPPE. Tweet at him at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Or chat him live via the Hoppe Radio app.
Oh my God!
Oh, this little guy. Buddy, if I had a peanut, I'd give it to you.
I love you. Bizarro, I love you.
Hey, who's got a peanut for turtle face? Don't, he's allergic.
They'll kill me.
Welcome back to Hoppe Hour on Z Radio Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
No, but seriously, Errol, like, what does that feel like? He's your son, and you know he's worth so much money and created so many things.
Pretty impressive.
You
right?
can't take that away from him. Are you proud? Did you ever see that coming?
No.
What? You're not proud?
Errol Musk isn't just proud of his billionaire son, Elon Musk. He's proud of his whole family.
If he didn't marry his stepdaughter, he'd be like really cool for calling out Elon. But man, he's like a real life, the guy that produced When Harry Met Sally. I'm drawing a blank. Back to the clip.
79-year-old South African businessman spoke up on Australia's
Woody Allen. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, he's a real life Woody Allen.
He's proud of his whole family. This 79-year-old South African businessman spoke up on Australia's The Kyle and Jackie O Show,
which is my favorite show, one of my favorite. And I'm not just saying that to be like, oh, look at me, no on radio. I've been a fan since 2009.
and talked about being proud of all his children, thanks to what he exposed them to when they were young.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, we are a family that have been doing a lot of things for a long time. It's not that.
Yeah, that's what I like, is that he's like calling out his son, saying it's a family thing of why we have access to these cool things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Elon's not like an innovator. He's but a lot of his advice is just like a less manic Kanye West. And he's good at calling out Twitter, and he's good at this and that. But if you're not the one that completely did a manifest of all this, like Jeff Bezos, he built it. Elon Musk, he inherited it. So it makes you go, it's probably a good thing that your dad's calling you out on one of the biggest shows on this planet.
We suddenly started doing something. So we've all been, as a family, all doing things, from the very beginning. And so, I mean, the kids were traveling with me around the world when they were tiny, and they've been doing pretty much very interesting things. We've been down the Amazon together, for example. We've been...
Oh, yeah. Sounds like what we do. Our version of the Amazon in Busch is Busch Gardens. And I honestly think I'd rather be turned up at Busch Gardens than be in the Amazon. Sounds very hot. But then again, it's also hot at Busch Gardens, so I'm not really proving my point.
To China, and when long ago when it was quite difficult to go there. And
yeah, it's so much easier now. Can you imagine that? Like, it's quite difficult for anybody to go to the Amazon. But the Musk family, they're like, oh, yeah, it's just a random Tuesday for us walking through the jungle. I mean, it sounds fun.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Hey guys, it's Allie for Hollywood Life with your music roundup, starting with Rihanna, because Hot Mama is back. This week...
I love that nickname for her. That should be her new album, or her OnlyFans, which there's celebrities that I'm going to talk about later that are joining OnlyFans, and everyone's freaking out, and it seems to be that they are forgetting that celebrities doing OnlyFans is not sexual at all. Remember when Bella Thorne was going to join it? Oh yeah, she'll begin gangbanged. She's not even doing anything.
Weekend, the anti-singer shared photos for her lingerie line, Savage X Fenty, as she posed in an orange set and looked seductive while doing so.
She always looks seductive. You could get a picture of her walking to Kmart. I don't know why I said Kmart. And then I went to Circuit City. You could have a picture of her walking into Walgreens looking like not ugly, but no makeup, and she would look amazing. Rihanna's just got that swagger of, oh, she's a beautiful woman.
Now, this appears to be Riri's first time modeling for the brand since she and A$AP Rocky welcomed their baby boy back in May. And by the looks of things, Rihanna hasn't missed a beat. Head over.
Hell yeah, I love these puns you're bringing today, Allie from Hollywood Life. I mean, this is really cheering me up, putting me in a good mood. I mean, that was punny.
Rihanna hasn't missed a beat. Head over to HollywoodLife.com to see the photos for yourself, but don't get caught looking too long. Moving on to Louis Tomlinson and the 12th anniversary of One Direction's first album, Up All Night. Now,
that makes me feel archaic, ancient, like a relic or whatever. Any synonym to describe the word old when I think of anything One Direction being 12 years old.
While a majority of fans are probably basking in the nostalgia and celebrating the moment, the former band member actually is not a fan. During an episode of Smallzy's Surgery, Louis threw some shade while talking about the project.
Yeah, they're all assholes. Like, you guys are lucky little pretentious millennials that got famous. I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm not saying that. It's good. I think Harry's the best by far, and the rest of them are a bunch of jamokes. Like, they're not that good. But they were great, okay? They won the X Factor. They came to America in 2012. They blew up. And that generation of kids growing up in the early 2010s, they loved that. So I have total appreciation for One Direction. But I have never seen a brattier boy band. I'm sure NSYNC doesn't get along, or 98 Degrees, or The Boys, or whatever. I don't even think 98 Degrees got along ever. But what I'm saying is, you don't see any of the other bands freaking out, talking crap about each other, and you got like One Direction like being a bunch of like bitches. It's like, knock it off.
That he actually thought it was shit, despite it being a big success. Yeah. You might recall this certified triple platinum album had smash hits such as What Makes You Beautiful and others.
That was a big song. That was in the Pepsi commercial.
Singles like Gotta Be You, One Thing, and More Than This. I, for one, enjoyed the album, but maybe Louis is hearing something different. All right, now let's talk about Chris Brown and those racy meet and greet photos.
Okay. You guys know Chris Brown. He's been around the block for about 17 years, got famous in 2005 with the song Run It, had a good run in 2007, 2009 beat the crap out of Rihanna, and he got banned from radio, and then he had a big comeback in 2011, then he threw the chair through the Good Morning America TV glasses, and he's done a lot, man. He's done a lot of sketchy things, beat up paparazzi, had cops outside his house, been accused of assault on women, and a lot of touchy things, potentially rape, allegedly, since he began in 2005. So it's not like he follows the rules. He's quite possibly one of the greatest singers of all time and one of the greatest dancers of all time. And if he had a clean record, would have been called the next Michael Jackson, because he was. But he ruined everything. But he's also a scumbag. And they're going to talk about these racy pictures. Like, one was, it was like a fan meet and greet. And one girl was like, looking like she was like in the doggy position, and he was looking like he was banging her. They had clothes on. And one was like a girl like she's like turned on him and sort of like cuddling. Like, you know, when you take a picture with your girlfriend and she puts her arms on you, and when she puts her arms on you, like you can feel that connection that you're getting laid that night. You know what I mean? Where there's like a little bit of them like using their nails and they kind of scratch you, and then you take the picture and you're like, oh my God, I'm glad I have a girlfriend. Here's what I'm saying. Chris Brown had that energy with the girls where they were kind of like grabbing onto him and he's cuddling with them while taking a picture, and then he was grabbing their ass. So there were all these things that Chris Brown did in these pictures, and it was like, I think we have to remind ourselves, we're not talking about a clean-cut singer like Michael Bublé, even though they're all freaks. We're talking about somebody who's literally been in trouble for pretty much everything but murder. I'm just saying, like, this is Chris Brown we're talking about. You guys remember that correctly, right? Like, you're not going to be really that surprised if Chris Brown's taking racy pictures.
The singer is currently on tour for his new album, Breezy, and let's just say he's definitely given fans what they paid for.
Hell yeah.
Chris took to his Instagram story to defend his actions and anyone who has something to say about the photos of him with fans coming out.
Also, the thing was this. As long as it's consensual, dude, pose however you want. If you think it's classy or even... Listen, I would take a picture with Chris Brown, but I wouldn't look like I'm that happy to be there. Like, I'd smile, but like, the guy is a dirtbag, you know what I mean? And you're posing with him all sexual, like, do you want to get beat up? You know what I mean? No. These aren't allegations that weren't proven true. He beats up women and people. So you can pose for Chris Brown and listen to his music because it's some of the best music of all time. But let's not forget that taking a picture with him is kind of a bad look. But if these pictures are consensual and they don't care, then they don't care. And we shouldn't care.
Direct response. The Indigo star wrote that he will always go all out for his fans since these are memories that will last with them forever. Have you guys seen any of these meet and greet photos?
It's him grabbing an ass.
Let us know what you think in our comments below. Okay, and now on to the drama because Beyonce is facing some backlash for her new album, Renaissance. So
she's in trouble, man. Not Beyonce. That's when you know the world's ending. When Beyonce's in trouble, when Queen Bee's in trouble, you know you got some issues.
Singer is getting some heat for her track Heated, which says the term spaz, and according to disability advocates, that is an ableist term.
No. See, this is the thing. Okay. I have some words for the woke mob that need to be said. Yeah, there's ableism in corporate companies where a boss doesn't like you and gives the job to somebody else who doesn't have the same skills. And you go, okay. And then you just kind of begin to continue to grind and go, whatever happens, happens. But I'm just saying there's really, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. The fact that you would even care, you know? I don't get it. I don't know why everyone's mad all the time. Everybody's always mad. Everybody's always freaking out. I'm like, you know, our time is running on this planet, you know? So when you have people bitching about Beyonce being an ableist because she used the word spaz, it makes you go, at what point do we kind of need to be tough on people that have mental health issues? In the way that you got to tell them that the real world is real, though. Because, like, I'm bipolar, ADHD, ADD. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. And, like, when I went through my breakup in 2018, I'll never forget. It was when Slater and Ian Beckles did their show at 5 a.m. on 102.5 The Bomb, which was one of the greatest shows that's ever been on that frequency. And I would board up overnight and work from, like, 11 to 5. And Ian would walk in, it'd be like 4:30 in the morning. He has like a ton of prep for the show. And I asked him right after my breakup, I was like crying over that sociopath. And I said, Ian, how do you get through pain? And he goes, just remember that we all have shit. And that's kind of the way you have to look at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to feel pain in that. But when you begin to complain all the time about your mental health, and that's the reason why you're either a bad person or bad at your job, it makes everybody else that's mentally ill, that's grinding through it, look bad. Because you can sit around all day and feel bad for yourself for being mentally ill. Like, I don't like waking up and being nervous, but I work out. I fight through it. I don't try to always be a victim. Just saying.
Hey guys, it's Allie for Hollywood Life with your music roundup, and let's jump right in because it was a wild weekend. Starting with Drake bringing out Nelly Furtado for an iconic, nostalgic performance in Toronto.
Oh my God, Nelly Furtado looks hot as hell. Maybe it's because I like my older women when I'm single.
These two Canadians,
which will never happen again, because when I say when I'm single, that means I don't want to be single again.
Performance in Toronto. These two Canadians came together for a surprise performance during Drake's annual OVO Festival as the rapper introduced Nelly with her signature hit, Promiscuous.
Oh yeah, that was a naughty song. I remember that was playing on B96, Eddie and Jobo in the morning. Can't believe that was 16, 17 years ago. Anyway, it was on the air. And I asked my mom, what does promiscuous mean? It was a little awkward.
Shut up!
Like, I had parents that, like, waited until they were legitimately married, I think, to have sex, right? Like, to have a honeymoon and that. And I'm like a skank over here, like, always having a quarter-life crisis. It's like, oh, my God, I am the opposite of my parents. And I think it was probably because of the radio I was exposed to. When you grow up listening to Howard, Mancow, and Opie and Anthony and listening to all hip-hop, you're going to be a very hypersexual person like me. So, yeah, driving around hearing Promiscuous Girl probably wasn't the most clean-cut thing a sixth grader needs to be exposed to. But then again, people will go, oh, you millennials were exposed to so much smut and so much dirt in the 2000s. Everything was sexual. Here's the thing, though. This next generation, look at what's on their TikTok, because everything is sexual.
Which caused the crowd to erupt in applause. Now, while this weekend seemed to go great, unfortunately, Drake announced this morning that he did test positive for VidCo and...
That sucks. I've never heard that, but that is cute, man. VidCo. Sounds like an STD. Maybe Drake has it.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Hoppe Hour will be right back.
Oh, yes. Following segment was, I don't know who should it be brought to you by today. Rich Keeley. He's the best barber in all of the Bay Area. RichKBarber.com. Sign up. Tell him I sent you.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Doctors say the life expectancy of the average man is now 76.2 years.
76.2, but I'm already 38.1. I've wasted half my life. Half my life gone, and I'm only guaranteed 38 more years.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
What the hell is going on with everybody's favorite dirtbag, Will Smith? I was listening to a very prominent radio host, and they were talking about Will Smith, and he said sorry in this video that I'm about to play. And they were talking about the video, and they're saying that Chris Rock doesn't accept his apology, and he's not talking about it.
Yo, what's up?
And they were calling Chris Rock a bitch. And I was like, wow, that's a unique opinion. Like, you know when you hear an opinion that is completely the opposite of yours, and you disagree with every part of it, but because we're a free country, you're cool with that person having that opinion? It was one of those moments, because I was like, I would never talk to somebody again when I make a quick little joke about being bald. But that's what's great about this country, is that you can literally have opinions.
Happy hot.
For the most part, unless it involves a woman's body, then 78-year-old white men are in charge of it. That's when you're screwed. We kind of have freedom here for the most part, unless it involves a baby. Then it's like, oh, a bunch of rich white men are going to be the ones that tell you what to do.
Happy hot topic.
There's no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave.
Wow, it's really good acting. You waited 4 months to do this.
Words the world's been waiting to hear.
You know what? They've been able to live off of this because they probably had nothing going on in between. You know what I mean? Like, they probably did this kind of for publicity, because when you're waiting for Will to respond, This headline could have come out in November, and it would have been covered with it being 10 months removed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Will Smith and Jada really, besides Red Table Talk, don't really have that much coming out. So they're living off of this because they're getting attention they wouldn't have got during the year. You know what I mean?
Am deeply remorseful.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself.
No.
Yeah, but you should be ashamed. You're literally in a relationship with Jada that makes you kind of go, hey, buddy, you have any balls? They there? Or you just completely whipped? Yeah. Oh, and I love when everybody judges Jada for hooking up with her son's friend. And it kind of goes like this. I don't know if it was exactly Jada or Will Smith that went, hey, let's do an open marriage. But Jada and Will Smith said, hey, let's do an open marriage. And here's what comes, no pun intended, with the territory. Here's what happens when you go into an open marriage. Because I've seen it play over and over again in radio. I see this in every format of radio and every job with Gen Xers. I've seen this all the time when it comes to open marriages. I have seen this so much in this last 10 years. And here's what happens. The couple is not in love at all, but they love each other enough that they can deal with each other. They're making money. It makes more sense to not get divorced. So they continue to maybe have sex, but they're having sex with other people, but you kind of know the people, you meet them. Like, you're either a cuck or you're just cool with that. And that's fine. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Life's too short. Just don't hurt animals or underage kids and have it be consensual. You can do whatever the hell you want in bed. But here's the thing, though. When you open up the floodgates and everything comes out and you can hook up with anybody, there's going to be repercussions to that. That's not going to end well when you're having an open marriage. And especially when you're Jada Smith and you have the access to the elite. So I didn't really think it was that big of a deal that Jada Smith hooked up with Jaden Smith's friend. First of all, that's a thing that is very taboo that people don't want to talk about, but there is a culture, where have I seen it before, of people in their early 20s hooking up with older people. Never did that. What I'm saying is it's not that big of a deal that Jada hooked up with one of her son's friends. Oh my God, I'm just having an epiphany. Oh my God. So their kid's name is Jaden and her name is Jada and then their kid's name is Willow and then his name is Will. That's probably the most creative thing Will Smith has ever come up with. And frankly, that's saying a lot. Not really.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Happy Hour will be right back.
Oh, yeah. This following segment was brought to you by WestChasePrinting.com. When I tell you that they are the best printing company in all of the Bay Area, I'm a man of my words. I would not lie to you. Okay? Get it? Got it? Good. All right.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Someone hook me up with a flame. I'm having a neck fit.
Light him up.
Meat wad?
Here. Encourage him in his habit.
That's a good smoker.
When did you start smoking?
This morning. And where's my whiskey? I'm gonna get tore up.
We shall acquire some wine on the way to the mall.
And then you can get tore up.
And pass out in the hot sun.
That's my boss.
I don't think Meatwad should be hanging around with these moon people.
Call Hoppe now. 856-49-HOPPE. Tweet at him at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Or chat him live via the Hoppe Radio app.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Oh, yeah. 856-49-HOPPE.
Wow! Happy Hot Topic!
More details into Johnny Depp's contentious defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard have surfaced.
This case is like an STD that's really bad. It's like one of those warts, so you're like, God damn it, if I touch it, it's going to get worse, but I really want to pop it? Yeah, that's this case. It's like a wart that won't go away.
2 months after Heard was found liable of defaming Depp in a highly publicized courtroom battle in Virginia, more than 6,000 pages of pretrial documents were unsealed and made public, shedding light on matters that attorneys for both sides wanted to exclude from the jury.
Yeah, these were like the really dirty things that they're like, yeah, even as much as Amber hates Johnny and Johnny hates Amber, they were like, even like, hey, babe, like, we used to love each other before you pooped on the bed and I was a loser drunk. But because I'm Johnny Depp, it's really edgy and wild. All the women that fall for Johnny Depp, he's a drunk loser. He's no different than a bar in Largo. A dude at a bar in Largo, drunk as hell. But because he's Johnny Depp, oh, his drunkenness of laying on the couch like a slob is so attractive. But yeah, all that info that they did not want out there, you know that what we're about to hear, you're going to know why they didn't want it out there in the case. It's going to be really scandalous.
Here are 4 of the biggest bombshells. In court documents obtained and reviewed by the Daily Beast and the New York Post, Heard's attorneys argued to bar Depp's legal team from introducing, quote, nude pictures of Amber Heard.
Oh, that would have been naughty. You know why? Because there were probably dirty pictures. You know why? He's a dirty dude, too. That's why he's dating a dirty girl. And Amber Heard, they weren't just nudes.
Into evidence for the televised trial, saying,
like when you see like a nude picture and then you see like a nude picture where it's like, that is X-rated. Because like a nude picture is R-rated if it's just like a naked girl. And I'm not trying to be creepy, but I'm saying like, it's like R-rated. Lingerie is PG-13 in ranking of pictures. But like the X-rated pictures, yeah, that's probably the ones that she didn't want released.
Saying it fell under irrelevant personal matters. Also, per the unsealed documents, Heard's attorneys also argued to exclude, quote, Amber's brief stint as an exotic dancer years before she met Mr. Depp from the...
So they were alleging that she was an escort girl in Las Vegas, but she was just an exotic dancer. God, she would probably give you the worst lap dance of all time. Going to strip clubs, it's the weirdest thing, but it's for single dudes that can kind of get laid, but also go through decent dry spells. But like they get laid enough, but they don't get laid enough. That's why they're going to a club. And it's nothing like getting a lap dance from a girl that just is not into you, does not care. And you're just like kind of getting turned on, and you're enjoying it, but you're like, this is really weird. It's someone's daughter and she doesn't want to be here. And you just paid $20. Yeah, I could totally see Amber Heard being one of those girls that is just kind of giving you a dead fish lap dance, and they're like, where did my life go? She's probably not an exciting exotic dancer. I don't really see Amber Heard putting any efforts into being an escort or an exotic dancer. Why? Because when you look at her act, there's no energy. There's nothing really unique there. So what I'm saying is this. She would be boring in bed.
Trial. In the filing, her lawyers claimed that Depp's legal team was seeking to introduce it as evidence to frivolously and maliciously suggest or imply that Miss Heard was at one time an escort.
Hell yeah! Have you heard of Nebraska Avenue? Don't go there.
According to the Daily Beast, a text exchange alleged to be between Depp and longtime friend Marilyn Manson from 2016 were included in the unsealed documents reviewed by Newsweek, in which the controversial singer referred to now-wife Lindsay Usick as, quote, an Amber 2.0.
I love how even diehard Marilyn Manson fans don't even pretend that he's a weirdo. They're like, yeah, you know, an obnoxious Kanye fan, like an obnoxious Kanye fan. They can never admit any of his faults. I can't imagine an obnoxious version of Marilyn Manson, but an obnoxious person that's a diehard fan of Marilyn Manson would even be able to admit, yeah, you know, he's kind of a creep.
According to Newsweek, Depp's attorneys sought to exclude his texts with Manson from the trial. In unsealed court documents reviewed by Page Six and Newsweek, Heard's lawyers alleged that the 21 Jump Street alum suffered from erectile dysfunction and that, quote, such condition absolutely is relevant to sexual violence.
Of course he has erectile dysfunction. He's drinking all day and getting whiskey. Because there's only a limit to drinking and getting laid. It's an unspoken topic, but when I hear other dudes talk about it, it's like you go, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. If you want to get laid, but go out and get tipsy or drunk, you can only drink beers, and it has to be light beer, so you're not gassy. But if you go out and you have a shot of tequila, a shot of Patron, and one of those balloons that you suck, in St. Pete, those vaporizers, you could have one of those, and 7 beers and an edible, and you come home drunk, and your girl's like, oh my God, you want to have sex? And you're like, yeah. And you can't even get to attention at all. Yeah, that's probably what was going on with Johnny Depp, was he was drunk all day and getting angry because he couldn't get hard.
Including Mr. Depp's anger and use of a bottle to rape Amber Heard. While taking a stand during the 6-week trial in Virginia, Depp denied what he called Heard's heinous accusations of violence, sexual violence, that she's attributed to me.
Oh, man. Those are the parts. Everything else is funny. She took a crap in the bed. Yeah. They're just turds in general. God, they're awful. Speaking of turds.
Whoa! Happy hot topic!
I'm so regularly asked, do you talk to your dad?
Okay.
The most common question, I think, is people wanting
does your dad love you?
To know if we reconnected because of the trial or because of my divorce.
Lindsay Chrisley opens up about reconnecting with her dad, Todd Chrisley.
He's kind of got exposed for having a gay lover, and you guys are like, really? Kind of gave off the vibes of being homophobic, and then you cheated on your taxes. Yeah, that had to be a lot for the daughter to take in.
Event that wasn't always in the cards.
There will never be a reconciliation.
The former reality star breaks it down for listeners of her podcast, The Southern.
Oh man, anybody can have a podcast now. Oh, my dad got away with tax evasion. Yeah, and tax fraud, but he might get 6 months in house arrest. I deserve a podcast.
I'm so regularly asked, do you talk to your dad?
I say, no, he's kind of a douchebag.
I feel like I finally do need to answer this. Things haven't always been peachy, and
peachy. There is that annoying, it's like a mix of a Valley girl in California with a Southern accent. Peachy. A lot of it comes from Georgia, where the dudes sound like this. Yo, man, I'm from Georgia, home of the Bulldogs. Home of the Braves, like Georgia men mumble a lot, they just kind of, and a Georgia woman, it's like the middle of an accent between sounding like a Valley girl and sounding like a Southern idiot, like this voice.
So regularly asked, do you talk to your dad?
Talk to your dad.
I feel like I finally do need to answer this. Things haven't always been peachy, and we've had to fight our battles publicly.
One of those battles? Lindsay and Todd's family drama following her exit from Chrisley Knows Best in 2019.
And the best part is this family acted like they were better than you. They acted like they were more important than you. And then they have worse skeletons than any of their TV viewers.
There was just some kind of emotional battle that Lindsay has had within herself.
More recently, Todd and Julie Chrisley await sentencing after losing their fraud trial in June.
What I've always wondered, and what has always intrigued me, is I wonder what it's like when you're waiting for a sentence and you're like, am I going to go to jail for 6 months? Like for an everyday average Joe that gets in trouble with a crime, it's going to be no different being in jail or living with your wife that you don't care about because you're committing a crime. You know what I mean? But for a rich person, they're used to like the lavish life, and then they get caught doing a crime. And it kind of happened to Lori Loughlin. Like they're just like, oh wait, I'm going to be in jail for 6 months. So I would love to see the footage of them arguing now as time is clicking and time is going by very fast, and just see the footage of them arguing since they are going to prison very soon.
And last year, Lindsay and husband Will Campbell split after 9 years of marriage.
Yeah, that was a little sketchy.
It's like I told my dad the other day, sometimes when you don't speak about something, you become the loudest person in the room.
Passive aggressive. But you're doing a podcast living off of your parents. Oh yeah, you're not being loud in the room. You're so much fun to be around. Did you know my parents are rich and know I'm famous? Oh, those personalities are so unique.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Hoppe Hour will be right back.
Oh, yes. Following segment was brought to you by, let me see here. I feel like I'm leaving somebody out, and I feel bad when I leave my sponsors out. When I'm doing these live reads, and it's like, how can I forget about you, man? You deserve all the credit. Let me see here. We did dbinfusions.com. The best CBD and Delta 8 can be found there. We did Amir Academy of Martial Arts, AmirAcademy.com, FitSageFitness.net, RichKBarber.net, WestChasePrinting.net, and Mattress by Appointment, Hillsborough.
The following message is from Dwayne the Mattress Guy from Mattress by Appointment, Hillsborough.
Hey, Ryan, just calling in for Hoppe in the Morning. Your podcast's been killing it lately. Been loving it. Got the good vibes going. Nice job. That's right. We're doing 50 to 80% off retail. We've got the $25 down plan. Got to call me, text me. You know my number, 813-452-5555. We'll set up a private showing. Come take a look at all the queens that we got on display, but I've also got kings, fulls, and twins. Whatever you like, we take it on the same day. Just the other day, a guy was in Javane, came in, I think 2 weeks ago. He was looking for a king, got the mattress and the box spring. And he had a 1 o'clock appointment with me on, I think it was on a Thursday. And we had it in his bedroom before 2 o'clock. It was like 10 minutes to 2. I was pulling up to his house. So, I mean, it's that easy, and, I take care of my people. It's one-on-one. I don't have a bunch of employees. Yeah, 813-452-5555. Ryan, you're doing a good job there. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all your help, and that's why I love using Mattress by Appointment to sponsor the podcast. Take it easy, man.
Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you.
It's time to turn Hoppe on.
Call Hoppe now. 856-49-HOPPE.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Oh, yeah. 856-49-HOPPE. It's 856-494-6773. All right, enough of this bumper music. More of the news clips.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Megan Fox teases her latest business venture, an OnlyFans account.
All right, before we even play this clip, I am the authority in all things pornography. So when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the gallery, when I tell you that these are not going to be that dirty of content, I'm a man of my words. The celebrities that join OnlyFans are not doing anything sexual besides maybe a picture of them in lingerie. It's the anonymous girls that are doing the naughty things. Like Moose's daughter from the Mike Calta show, Genesis Kiss. Like those are the naughty ones. They really get a lot of work in a day. Like those 8 hours they put in, because they put out a lot of new content, and you're like, man, you're naughty. Oh, daddy issues right there. But anything that's going to be Megan Fox and Kourtney Kardashian, yeah, it's not going to be that dirty.
After seeing her latest pics with Kourtney Kardashian, we can see why.
Just, living our best lives and yeah.
Mm-hmm. The ladies are living their best lives in these new sexy behind-the-scenes Polaroid pics from their Skims photo shoot.
Oh my God, it's 2 hot girls riding each other on a toilet. That's never happened before. That's every bathroom in Ybor City after 2 a.m. I'm not kidding. No, I didn't have sex with a girl on a toilet. I saw it, and dude was like doing a line of like coke off the wall, and he's like banging her, and I like walked in because I had to take a dump. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, oh, you're just banging a girl on the toilet right now. It does happen. So you have this picture of Megan Fox and Kourtney Kardashian. But it's just lingerie. There's not that much to it, dude. Like, you're honestly really hoping that, like, if you DM them after you join their OnlyFans, they're going to be like, oh my God, I must date you because you paid for my OnlyFans.
Gal pals sizzle in skin-bearing looks as they pose in intimate positions. And when we say intimate,
It's naughty. It's so scandalous. It's Megan Fox rubbing Kourtney's body. And they're in lingerie. Oh my God, I've never seen that before. Actually, the people that wouldn't be offended by that would be the people that see worse all the time. And then the people that never see anything, which would be like religious people, would be offended by that because they don't know how great sex is. So yeah, I can see why people are up in arms. It's the people that don't have any lives, that are not getting laid, are the ones that'd be offended by that. Because me, I'm like, oh, it's another girl in lingerie, whatever.
What's Chris Rock's reaction after Will said this?
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk. And when he is, he will reach out.
A source tells ET Chris has no plans to reach out to Will.
I can't imagine he really wants to talk to Will. I'm sick of hearing about Will. He's such an asshole.
Though Will would love nothing more than for Chris to publicly accept his apology.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to publicly do it. We can't just do it like men on a phone call. I got to let everybody know what time you're going to say it on TV.
But it's not going to happen right now.
Chris, I apologize to you.
And I'm sorry that I didn't let you bang Jada.
Got it.
The video of Devin Booker and Kendall Jenner just on vacation.
Is it safe to call this a vacation?
Yeah, I would assume so. When you're gliding in the middle of the Everglades, or wherever they were. Yeah, it's called a vacation. It's not work.
Kendall Jenner shares a rare look at her getaway with Devin Booker as the model and NBA player take on the great outdoors.
That looks fun as hell, man. Devin's a good dude. Yeah. I think. I've never met him, but I'm just assuming.
Over the weekend, Kendall caught Devin showing off his axe throwing skills.
All right, this doesn't really translate to radio. No one's like, oh my God, I'm hearing about Devin Booker's skills when he's throwing the axe. That guy, man. I felt so bad for Devin Booker, by the way. Let me explain to you. You're going, he's worth $250 million. He's getting to bang the Kardashians. Why should I feel bad for Devin Booker? Well, here's why. He lost by 50 points to the Dallas Mavericks in Game 7 of the semi-conference finals in the NBA West Coast. And guess what happened? He lost to the Mavericks by 50 points. Luka Doncic went off and made Devin Booker look bad. Well, that next Sunday, the Mavericks were playing the Warriors, and that game was really popping. And while that was happening, the Suns were supposed to be there, but then Devin Booker, during that game, is at the Courtney and Travis wedding. So then all the Suns fans were like, F you, bro. You don't care. You would rather be at the wedding. And you looked at all the wedding pictures, and he looked miserable. My boy looked unhappy.
Kendall Jenner just confirmed her and Devin Booker's relationship status with one video. You know what they say, the couple that throws axes together are something. And
yeah, that's what I've always said. I just got to take a deep breath, man. I've been ranting for 75 minutes in a row, and also, like, this is so, like all those headlines really ramp you up. I don't know what I'm even saying anymore.
Katy Perry is proving she's never really over trolling her man, Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, it's called she is afraid that he's cheating on her with other women, so she has to post on his social media to make the women go, oh yeah, he's married.
Although they
don't really care, though.
Been together for years, Katy is showing fans that she always has time to leave a hot and cold comment on Orlando's thirst trap Instagram pic.
Yeah. You know, he's banging some other woman, and he's like, oh crap, Katy commented. It's probably while she's like, hey, I know your filming ended at 1 p.m. Why are you not home at 7:30? Oh, I'm doing overtime at the movie.
On July 31st, Orlando posted a series of photos and videos from a recent trip to Australia with Josh Gad.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that guy bangs men or women. But what I'm saying is this. He's down under. He's literally a whole day away. It is a long trip to get to Sydney. So here's what I'm saying. The fact is this. She's afraid that he's cheating. So now she's trying to mark her territory. And I mean, no offense, this is Katy Perry we're talking about. One of the most pretentious people of all time. Is she really worth it?
The Down Under slideshow included snaps of the friends in front of a sunset, as well as some native Australian wildlife.
Oh yeah, man! All the millionaires are getting to live out their midlife crisis with their vacations, and I'm here doing a podcast.
Out of the breaking developments in the Brittany Griner trial. The WNBA star back in a Russian court this morning after being...
I really think she's getting a long sentence. I'm really afraid. Like, I know she messed up. I know she's an idiot. I don't really feel bad for her because she did the dumbest crime possible and hated this country, and now it's kind of getting karma. But, man, if she got like 10 years, bro, because I don't know if you noticed, but our president is not really alive. He didn't even know if he had COVID or not. He's not really a smart guy. We're not really doing well with Biden. Then everyone's giving Biden credit for the gas going down, but then when the gas went up, we were not supposed to blame him. So if Biden is taking credit for the gas going down, he should have been blamed for the inflation. Whatever, forget about that. But when you have Brittany Griner out there, and there's a president that's not even trying to save her, not even putting in any effort, you go, yeah, Brittany might get 10 years.
Arrested in February on drug charges as the White House steps up diplomatic efforts to set her free.
What diplomatic efforts? Giving Joe Biden some cough medicine and hoping he gets better from COVID? What efforts are you putting in? None.
Foreign correspondent James Longman has the story. James,
get to the point.
Yeah, good morning, George. There was a noticeably heavier security presence around Brittany Griner when she appeared in that Moscow court this morning. The basketball star's being held on charges of drug smuggling after cannabis oil was found in her luggage back in...
She's just being a dummy bringing drugs to another country. When I hear smuggling, it's so ridiculous. I know she's being used as a political pawn. I know it's because she did it right during the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine thing. Like, she could not have been dumber.
In February, physical evidence was shown in court today. A green-yellow vape cartridge and 2 tubes of some kind of brown liquid substance. The defense called a technician from the lab where the cartridges were tested. Griner's...
They're showing a video of when it was found, and she has this face like, oh, this seems like it's kind of a big deal. Like, she's used to just walking through LAX after a WNBA game that everybody watched, and they're like, oh, you have a bunch of marijuana carts? That's fine, go through. So she's used to like being able to break the rules because she's Brittany Griner, one of the best female basketball players of all time. You can be sexist and say the WNBA sucks. It's boring to watch. It's not a good product. But those girls are ballers. And Brittany Griner is one of the best basketball players of all time. So in general, she's a very impactful player. I will say that. But at the same time, she's used to everybody bowing down to her. She's used to everybody kissing her ass. So she thought, I can just go to Russia, bring a weed pen, whatever.
On liquid substance, the defense called a technician from the lab where the cartridges were tested. Griner's lab is basically trying to poke holes in the argument for how that hashish oil was tested. They called into question both the methods used to test it and the competency of the state employee who carried those tests out.
And then it's so humiliating. Like, we don't realize how we really treat our criminals pretty well in this country. It's showing her, they put you in like a little like wooden cage, but you're like on your feet, but you're in like a cell that is like brought in the courtroom. So everybody's in the Russian court. And then imagine having the prisoner all the way in the back. It's so demeaning. Like, it is scary because it just shows the power. Like, we let them sit next to beautiful lawyers and some of the best lawyers of all time, like John Morgan, like the real ballers in this town. You know what I mean? Like, we see how court goes in America. And then you see overseas, they have her, like, they're belittling her. Like, it's just bad vibes, but she should not have done that. Oh, she's a hero. For what? Smoking weed and being dumb?
Now, Griner was in the prison cage. We've seen her in before in the courtroom, and she held up once again. She does this every time she appears. Once again, photographs of her loved ones for the cameras to see.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, you are such a dumb narcissist, Brittany. That's really going to help your cause because they know that you think you can get away with everything, and that's why they really cared. Is because you had the dumb attitude of bringing a drug to Russia. So when you're holding up a picture of your wife and the family, that makes them want to give you an even harsher charge. That's not making them go, oh, we're so happy for you that you got a beautiful wife. You want to go home now? No, they're going, this is an entitled American. so it's like being a narcissist because she doesn't seem like a nice person. She's a great basketball player, but when you say you don't like America and you talk crap about us, don't expect us to give you 100% of our effort.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Happy Hour will be right back.
Oh, yeah. This was brought to you by quadpod.com/Ryan Hoppe, QOD.com. QuadPod is the best around, the best podcast network. You know? I know.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Well, it was good while it lasted, I guess.
But Sheriff, the glory hole is the pride and joy of Dougal County.
Fella found an even older glory hole 2 towns over. Lord knows I ain't looking forward to telling the tourism board about this.
Such an elegant concept. A simple, lowly hole to commemorate his glory.
Call Hoppe now. 856-49-HOPPE.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Doctors say the life expectancy of the average man is now 76.2 years.
Please don't be offended. He's sorry in advance.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Man, you could do a big line of cocaine to this song. Yeah.
Britney Spears has been very busy, and the good news for her fans, she has written her memoir.
It's ready to print.
But there's a shortage of paper. Man, what are we going to do?
For Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson, absence is making the heart grow fonder.
And hopefully no cheating, you know. We don't want it to end that way.
E! News has learned that the couple's romance hasn't slowed down one bit, while
Even if they're not together?
The comedian has been down under filming the movie Wizards. A source says the distance hasn't been an issue. They are still going strong and making it work.
I wonder if she just like flies 18 hours and just goes down there, you know what I mean? She has access to that.
Kim did have a quick visit to Australia to visit him, but when they are apart, they are in constant communication.
Oh, that's cool, man. That is so cool. 856-49-HOPPE, man.
So I've adopted she, her again. But I think what's important is like nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone messes up pronouns at some point.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And especially when people are learning, it's just all about.
I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I hope I don't mess up my pronouns. Not how the hell am I going to pay for my rent or whatever. Get the hell out of here.
Everyone messes up pronouns at some point.
Totally.
And
it's part of growing up. Dealing with hormones, dealing with your parents, and messing up pronouns. Oh, that's a big problem amongst teenagers. Not opioid abuse. Messing up your pronouns.
Pronouns at some point. And especially when people are learning, it's just all about respect.
Demi Lovato is getting candid. The 29-year-old was recently on the Spout podcast, where the pop star reveals they have adopted the pronouns she, her again.
My pronouns is life's too short. Who gives a fuck?
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
And like that, he's gone.
Happy Hour is now over. Happy Hour is now over. Happy Hour is now over.
RyanHoppeRadio.com